Great. Today we're looking at Ruby Storm versus Nadu. Very important matchup here. I'm trying out two different versions of Ruby Storm. We have the version I was also playing before, splicing the green with the questing druids. Only change is that I have flame slash instead of the one ring right now. And well, it's not the only change. I also got the Burgies to try out an Anarchomancer and a single Pass and Flames main deck to help fight counterspells and see how clunky it is to have Pass and Flames main. And then I also caught a Glimpse Impossible for a Highway Robbery to try that card out. And then I'm gonna do two matches with this, and then switch over to an energy version after that of the Ruby Storm deck. So I'm against Alex Friedrichsen here, piloting the Nadu deck. And yeah, this is a fast and riveting gameplay, so let's just dive right into it here. So I start by winning the first die roll, and I think my first hand is great. Okay, so you have to click, what, 7 times when you have a companion? Yeah. All right, yeah, my first hand is definitely not it here. Trying to mulligan for a cost reducer, and we do get one here in the medallion. I'm going to ship the second medallion. And we played out here, so we're gonna get our surveil line here and put something on bottom. Okay, so we hit another land off the surveil, and definitely down to put that in the graveyard. The more I played this deck, the more I found that like wishing for breach comes up a lot, and so I started to prioritize just playing out my fetches just so I can fill up my graveyard. Because oftentimes like that one extra card actually makes a difference between the ability to go off or not. Yeah, so here we see that Alex is super well set up. He like surveilled the Court of Calling to the graveyard, so like, he definitely has an auto here. He has the Southern Safekeeper to at least like start going off, and then like as soon as he finds a Shuko, he just wins. Or you can maybe even like do some court things with the setup. So yeah, we gotta try and win now. The issue is we don't have a ritual here. Now drawing a second Ruby Medallion really doesn't help, so I'm gonna have to just play off some spells here and let's see what we can do. So we hit a Rel and a Wish. Like neither of those help me as well. Like I still need to hit a Ritual in order to do anything here. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Obviously if I hit the Rel first, I could maybe like set something up, but probably not. So yeah, we are in mode here. We discard the Ruby Medallion and try and find some rituals. Okay, so I got pretty lucky here to hit 2 rituals, and I think this is again the power of Wish here. This is immediately lethal. I think, yeah, so I go ritual, have 5 mana, play Rel, 4 mana, Wish costing 1, so I have 3 mana, I can get Past in Flames, and then I can flashback the 2 rituals. So I go back up to 5 mana, and then I might just be able to get there. So go back up to 5 mana, flashback the 2 rituals again. Oh yeah, the flashback the 2 rituals go up to 5 mana. Flashback the Wish to get Grave. Okay, so we're not quite there that way, but maybe I can do it with Breach. Oh, I also have 1 extra mana here, of course, right? Because it's turn 3. Yeah. So I guess I have 6 mana. Flashback Wish. Okay, so we're one mana short of winning that way. But I can probably find some way to do it. We can go get Underworld Breach instead, and then what the Breach requires essentially is that you just count up all the cards that end up in your graveyard, and if the answer is 9 cards, then you win the game. And here we have 6 cards already, plus the Wish, Ritual, and that is 9 cards, and so you can flashback a Ritual, flashback a Wish, and then get Graveshot and flashback Graveshot. And then you don't really need, like, you don't need any more mana than that, so that you only need 1 Ritual. But the important bit is, like, needing cards in your graveyard. So that's why I'm trying cards like the Highway Robbery, and in general, why, like, the Fetch Land, Surveil Line combination is very good. So yeah, we can go for the Breach kill here, or I can just try and flip Rel. There's a ton of ways to do this. I play Rel, I do flip him with 7, but yeah, I'm just saying that, declaring that I have lethal here with getting Underworld Breach, and he does not have endurance. If he had endurance here, obviously I wouldn't have flipped Rel yet, and it would have been somewhat interesting because I play the Breach. I have 2 mana left. He basically has to respond to the Breach. Then I maybe just like at that point he's like so few resources left. He has to spend 2 cards on the endurance, and I can maybe just plus the rel and wish for galvanic relay, and then I just lose my breach, or I can maybe do something else. Like maybe I could have waited. Like I could have waited with flipping the rel, and I would have been able to try and ultimate it, and then maybe go from there, and that might have been good enough as well. So there's like some lines there that probably get me there. But yeah. Anyways, that was a turn 3 kill on the play. Okay, classic Storm stuff. Let's go to game 2. So on the draw, I'm boarding in the Flame Slashes, and I'm taking out just a little bit of the like clunky or card draw spells, Glimpse and Highway Robbery. I'm actually not sure it makes sense to board out Highway Robbery. It's probably better than Reckless Impulse. The reasons that it would be worse is that it's worse for resource generation when you're playing those type of matchups, and it's worse against Orcish Bowmaster, but like neither of that is applicable. What is applicable sometimes is that like you just like need the fast kills with Underworld Breach, and this does help you a little bit there. So probably wrong to take that all out. I also bought out a Pass the Flames because I expected there's going to be 2 more endurances brought in, and I don't think you can risk that. Like you're mainly gonna try and see if you can win around endurance most of the time. So yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do here. So I'm gonna keep a hand here. It is not particularly fast. So I'm basically banking on Alex's draw being slow here, which is a bit dicey. I mean, it's very possible you are supposed to mulligan to like rituals and then hope to top deck the cost reductors, or trying to see if you can get a turn 2 kill in any way, but or maybe like draw Flame Slash or something. But here I'm just content to like keep this hand. I have a turn 2 rel, and maybe that's good enough. And his draw is really slow, right? Turn 1 shifting woodland, turn 2 halfling. He noticed that I forgot the woodland comes into play tapped. He could have gone turn 1 dryad and then turn 2 halfling, but that, I mean, that's very weak to Flame Slash, so maybe he wouldn't do that. But he does have the Nadu, the Shuko here, and just trying to go off here. And I think he finally finds the Nantuku, and yeah, that's gonna be game over. So yeah, just classic Nadu going off turn 3. So on my game 3 here, let's see what we get. Okay, so here I bought it into Blood Moons on the play. The idea is that on the draw, Blood Moon is not going to be, like, turn 2 Blood Moon is not going to do anything against Nadu. They might have, like, a Water Roots or, like, just develop their mana enough. But turn 1 Blood Moon can be devastating. You, like, you know, if they go on turn 1 Saga, which they're often going to do because they need to be fast, if you just, like, clear that, and you can't, like, go find any other source. Even if they get to play a Halfling, they need to, like, fetch Forest to be able to cast anything, because the Halfling just have colorless mana, and they, like, don't have the second color. So I think Blood Moon on a play is pretty nice, but the issue is that you're already like significantly favored on a play, because of just like the speed of this deck. So yeah, you don't really need to help, but it's kind of nice to do that. It also like helps beat the hate cards like Draneth Magistrate. If you can land a Blood Moon before the Magistrate, you get somewhere. Anyways, this first hand here does not have a cost reduction card, so we're gonna ship that, and we're gonna draw a new hand here. This one, I think it's a multi 5. Yeah, this is a multi 5 already. But I'm gonna have to keep this, I think. Just keeping, like, I could keep the Flame Slash. I'm not actually sure about that. I'll probably just keep Flame Slash, Ritual, Reckless Impulse, and 2 fetches. I think that's the correct way to do it. And just like hope I buy time. I do end up keeping the district in hand instead of a fetch land. That makes no sense, because you might as well just get the extra card in the graveyard. But yeah, so I see a Questing Druid on top, and I put it away. Again, not quite sure about this. Maybe I just need the extra cards. Maybe I need to, like, you know, if I draw second Flame Slash, it's possible that I can do some like Questing Druid fair things. But I don't know. I'm also just like trying to look for a cost reduction as soon as possible. So I think it's probably fine to play like this. Anyways, he plays out Haywire here. And I think I decide that because I bought it in Blood Moon and because I have the medallions, and generally it's reasonably good to just like clear the creatures of the Nadu side. I just decide to Flame Slash this immediately and fetch up another Surveil land, and then try and do like turn 3 Reckless Impulse to hopefully find a cost reductioner, and then go off turn 4. And then hopefully, because I killed the Might, that I actually have time here. I think maybe this is a little too preemptive, right? Because I can Reckless Impulse into the land and then still Flame Slash. And if I wait, I'll be able to hit something like an Antuco, which is going to be much more impactful. Or if he has drawn the Dranic Magistrate, I can hit that. So I think this is a bit too preemptive. I think I should have just fetched main phase for my Surveil lands, see what's on top, and maybe if it is specifically a medallion, I leave the Haywire Might alive. But anyway, so he just plays a Shuko here and is set up to go Nadu next turn. We surveil the land to the graveyard. It's a bit risky, but I think I am just low enough on resources that I can't like afford to have too many lands here, and so I'm just gonna try and like dig towards my action cards here, and I think that is correct in this spot. Drawing a second ritual, we do Wrench Resolve and hit a land, and do hit the land here. So this is a turn where I probably would have Flame Slashed in the perfect world. But yeah, just another Wrench Resolve, and it's very scary. Like he can play a Nadu here. He can actually do a lot, like just hitting like getting another creature here. And even though like he doesn't necessarily win, he just like draws a few cards and like breaks off with a Halo Fountain and a Plains. That's like kind of an issue with the canister build of the Nadu deck that Alex is playing. Is that it just the basic lands kind of like get in general, just the mana base gets in the way of the combo turn. It's not as smooth as in regular blue green, so that's worth noting. Anyways, I draw another land here, and I decide that I think I need just like the extra mana boost I get from splicing onto Arcane, because I'm probably gonna do some digging before I hit my cost reductioner. So I fetch here and splice onto Arcane with the ritual, and then I just cast a few Wrench Resolves, and I do hit 2 medallions, but then I cast another Wrench Resolve, hit a land, hit a rel, and I actually just fizzle out there, right? So I cast my 2 draw spells, but all I find, like, I finally find my cost reductioners, but the issue is that that's not good enough. Like, I needed a wish to like convert this into some sort of value, and that just isn't here. And so I just play out my cards, and I pass the turn, and I hope I don't die, but I do die. I think I just screw immediately. So yeah, the issue with relying too much on the random flips off of these is that, yeah, you're not necessarily guaranteed to get anywhere. Not sure with the order that I hit things in. I had 5 mana when I had 5, played this, played that, so I'm at 3, play like Ritual, go up to 5 again. So if I'd hit a Past in Flames, for instance, that actually would have been good enough. If I'd hit a Wish, I think also good enough. Just through the Underworld Breach. So I think I actually like had some out there, and like if you increase the amount of Path in Flames in your deck, like you also increase the amount that like you can win there. But the issue is that the Path in Flames isn't really replacing any of these cards, so yeah, it doesn't really, I guess, doesn't actually add that much. But for instance, I did put out a Flame Slash for Path in Flames, and yeah, it's hurting me a little bit, though I probably would have died if the Haywire Might stayed alive. So yeah. Anyway, we do lose this game on the this match under play here, because I just fizzle out here on a multi 5 in game 3, and that's not good enough. But I did have a shot, like at least, you know, I could like there's a chance that I chain things and it works out, but it just didn't happen here. Then we look at match number 2 with the regular Ruby Storm deck. So I will click 7 times. This time on the draw, we're trying to alternate. This hand has the 2 rituals for turn 2 kill on the draw, but we don't have a second land or cost reductioner, so I can't keep it. I would have kept the 1-lander with, as you can see, I have Medallion. And I need to hit, I need to get pretty lucky here. Hit my land, and then also hit a ritual so I can win turn 2. Or hope that he can't win turn 3. So it's a bit risky, but we do hit the land at least. Say goodbye to the Wrench Resolve, because that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for speed here. And he goes Wall of Roots, Springleaf Drum. This is very notable. If he had a Shuko, I feel like he's fairly likely to just play out the Shuko, because the Springleaf Drum adds very little. He can still go like Nadu and then tap the drums like play the Shuko, so like, he can still do something. Then he'll have 2 creatures with like 2 cards in hand. So it's not like guaranteed that that kills me. And it's an interesting question because I draw Desperate Ritual for turn. So I can go Ritual into Ruby, Manamorphose, and then just like rip through and see what I hit. Which might be reasonable, but it does like significantly decrease my chances next turn, potentially, at least. I mean, I'm going to cycle a bunch of cards, I'm going to Impulse, like maybe it's going to be fine. He does also have stuff like the Haywire Might in his deck, so if I like don't find for instance, a Flame Slash for this Wall of Roots, which, oh, this is game 1, yeah, so I don't even have Flame Slash. Oh, that also means he doesn't have Haywire Might. He does have, like, Boseiju in his deck, I guess, but Boseiju is already up here because of the Springleaf from Wall of Roots interaction, so that's not really worth playing around. So there's not that much risk to playing out the Medallion. Even if his turn is like just play Teferi and bounce the Medallion, it actually helps me a lot to go off next turn, because I could either get lucky and just rip a land, or even if I don't, I can go Ritual. Like, I still have the land drop to make, which is essentially +1 mana. So I decided to risk it here, that like he's not going to kill me, because the version is not that good at killing me off this spot too often. So I'm going to play out the Medallion here and see if he has to kill. And he plays out the Nadu, but he does not have the Shuko. And yeah, that's just not good enough. So we are going to be able to convert this into a win. I think I'm just going to play my things here. Ritual. Yeah, I'm just going to play a bunch of things here. I think I end up flipping Ral here. I have so many things. I do the thing where I... Oh, this goes very quickly. Oh, but it worked actually. The game didn't break. Okay, cool. So maybe they fixed the bug that was in the last video with Ral breaking the game. That's kind of why I just like fast forwarded that turn. I expected it to not work out, but essentially I played my spell number 5 was a sorcery, and then I responded to that with spell number 6. So that means that now there's 2 Ral triggers on the stack, where if I win either of them, I can flip Ral. The issue is if I just play as normal, play my sorcery, flip Ral, like trigger Ral, I win the flip. Well, I can't flip him yet because he's only at 7 loyalty. I need him to be at 1 more loyalty. And then I play another spell, and then I lose that flip. And so you lose out on a little bit of odds there. Whereas if you just make sure to respond to each other, then each coin flip like checks that you have cast enough spells, and you just like you increase your chances that way. So it's important to keep that in mind. It's also like some strength of Requesting Druid is that it can help do this because it's instant. General just instants play really well with Ral, also saving him from removal, etc. So yeah. But anyway, I do manage to flip Ral. I ultimate, and I think I say here that like I could the way I sequence this is that I leave these rituals in the exile zone, and then I wish for Passion Flames. And if he does happen to have an endurance in hand here, he could hardcast it with this. He like just fetch at the same time. Like if he has an endurance here, I could just let that happen, and then still in response to my Passion Flames, you cast Ritual, Metamorphose, and you're just off to the races again, and you can't lose. So yeah. Anyways, classic turn 3 kill, and we do take game 1 here on the draw because we were able to survive. Like he didn't find Shuko, and so we were able to survive their turn 1. So it's kind of interesting that like it's very similar to what happened in the in game 3 of the first match, in that I was on the play, and I just like didn't like get to my turn 3 kill. That was the game where I tried to go off and then just like fizzled. And so that's like a very similar thing that happened there with the Nadu deck here. It just didn't find the Shuko, and so like it wasn't able to go off turn 3. And then like you kind of like whenever that happens, a lot of the time your opponent will steal the victory there. Okay, let's see how game 2 goes. So I have a hand here that has 2 rituals and a Metamorphose. So if I hit the cost reductioner, it's actually like a pretty likely chance for turn 2 kill. And that's just really important in this matchup when you're on the draw. So I'm going to keep this hand even though it doesn't have a cost reductioner. Rely on the fetch land. Now we hit a Poetic Ritual, and yeah, our chances for turn 2 kill, I think, are almost guaranteed now. 5. I think we're a bit short. 5, 6 mana. No, actually, I think this is a guaranteed turn 2 kill. If we can hit a Ruby or Ral or even the Anachromancer. Oh, Anachromancer actually doesn't work because you would have to like spend the Metamorphose to get the green mana. But a Ruby or Ral off the Surveil or my draw step would yield the victory here. So because yeah, you just like chain the rituals. You have exactly 6 mana in pool. You can wish for Passion Flames, and then you have enough to flashback everything and go get Ripshot. Again, really doesn't take much to win with Wish as a win condition. It's very nice for that. But here, Alex has a turn 2 Drannith Magistrate, and that changes everything. Because, you know, it just makes it so hard to go off. The Wish doesn't work anymore. Passion Flames doesn't work. All your card draw spells don't work, so you can't dig for removal spells. And, like, you can't wish for a removal spell as well, because you can't cast them from your sideboard. So I just decided that my only course of action here is to play a questing druid and and try and beat down here. And even though I can make it very large this turn, it doesn't actually do anything because the Nadu deck is so full of chump blockers that like he will just be able to survive. So I attack for 7 here, and these cards I just exiled, they're dead. I'm gonna try and make it 8-8 next turn, but yeah, I mean he's just gonna play a couple things, and I realized that I should probably just concede. I think he has a Court of Calling here or something, and yeah, that's whatever. That should be good enough. So Dranth Magistrate, if you draw it naturally, very good against Storm. Because then at least if you have to court for it, it's a little slow. But yeah, we didn't quite get there. I don't know, like, so my top 2 cards were the Rel. Like, I would have found the Rel for turn 3, so I would have had a turn 3 kill this game, I think. Anyways, let's see game 3 here. So we're back on the play, and yeah, that's just the advantage of like stealing game 1 on the draw. And I have a Blood Moon hand here. I don't have a ritual, but I can try and dig for it. And even if I don't hit the ritual, I just have a Rel, and yeah, we'll see if we can get there. This might be one of those hands where the Blood Moon gets in the way of the combo. Okay, so drawing a second Metamorphose is nice. I don't fetch with Arid Mesa. I think that's just wrong. I think I should just fetch. Maybe. To get it out of the, like, to get it in the graveyard, but I guess it doesn't matter. Anyways, he has a Lush Portico, and yeah, so now I could just like slam the Blood Moon, but I decided to like try and go off a little bit because I might also just win. The thing is that he has bought it in. Oh yeah, okay, so this one was bugged. Okay, so I guess the thing isn't quite fixed. So yeah, the replay when you have Rel, because the coin flips, like it just doesn't like understand what's going on, the log, and so it just like flips the coins every time at random. Which means that the log oftentimes just like you breaks at some point. It like is a different reality and can't catch up. What ended up happening here is that I just went completely off and just like killed him with a. I think I ultimated 3 Rels this turn because I just kept breaking off my Rel ultimate, but I found the new Rel, and then like it's very easy to flip the next ones to use like to play a couple of spells that you can cast for free. And then you flip him again, try again, look at the sub 8, and eventually I found a wish and killed him. But we were also very close to just building a big questing druid and playing the Blood Moon. But yeah, anyways, the reason I decided to go off there was because he has Force of Vigor in his sideboard. And so if I just play a Blood Moon there and pass, there's a chance that he goes Force of Vigor your Blood Moon. He does lose the Ursa Saga, so he's set back. But he has like Path to Exile, for instance, so he could like Path to Exile my Rel, and then like who knows where that game goes from there. And I thought I just like didn't need to give him that chance. So but yeah, we win the second match here. So we lose the match on the play and win the match on the draw. But yeah, that means that there's definitely like some chance of upset here, right? It's not that both decks are just so consistent turn 3 kills that that's all it's about. And then there's like, my chance of like turn 2 killing, but he has a chance of like having the hit card in the Dranth Magistrate. And I wonder if those two like kind of like even out. Anyways, the second half of this is with the energy version of the deck. So this one is Alex's version, and it has basically Galvanic Discharge and Wheel of Potential. The Wheel of Potential as like an extra card draw spell on top of the Impulses and Wrench Resolve. Especially with Galvanic Discharge, you can just use this to make free energy. That's drawing 3 cards. If you have an Aether Hub, you go up to 7, so that the cards you exile from your Wheel of Potential you can also play. And there's a chance that this might be a lot stronger, especially against cards like Dranth Magistrate, because the Galvanic Discharge is just a main deckable removal spell for it, so you can interact way more. And the Wheel of Potential actually works under the Dranth Magistrate. The issue is that you like can wheel people into 0-cost answers to your stuff, so that's kind of rough. The other differences here is that like he doesn't have the questing druids then, that's what he's giving up, like he has less card draw. And then he also has 2 fewer lands and instead has 2 Strike It Rich. The idea here is that you can enable turn 2 kills more often. Turn 1 Strike It Rich, turn 2 kill you. And I think there's some merit to that, but it's kind of interesting because it's also almost a brick when you're going off. It helps with like flipping Ral, but that's about it. So yeah, let's go in here and see how these games unfold. So here I am, I think on the draw against Nadu. Yeah. And I keep this hand here. It's a 1-lander, but it has the Strike It Rich. It actually just has the turn 2 kill lined up here, and I do draw a second land immediately, so that's nice. So yeah, we just play Dragon Ridge, and yeah, I mean that's like the real advantage, right? I could easily lose this game. I'm actually like he probably has an Nadu here. I think I'm most likely dying next turn. So if I didn't have this Dragon Ridge, the game doesn't look too good for me. If it's just another land, right? So here it really makes a difference, and I'm gonna be able to just play the Ruby and just play on my ritual 2 Metamorphoses. Uh, Potentially the Wheel of Potential here that draws 4 cards, and there's the Reckless Impulse I can try and get out of my hand. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things here. I do hit a Wish, and I think I think what happens there is that I just go off. I think I hit another ritual, and then I realized that I can just wish for the breach. And if he does have an endurance as like his last 2 cards, I can potentially Wheel of Potential and like get somewhere, or maybe set up for later. Or like for next turn, I can do the Wheel of Potential and like draw 5 cards, and maybe that's good enough. I probably shouldn't do it now because I would maybe draw him into a Nado where he has none right now. But yeah. Anyways, there was another one of those where I could identify that I would get exactly 9 cards in my graveyard, and 9 cards is the magic number where you can do this thing where you get the breach, flash like escape a ritual, escape a wish, and then grave shot, escape grave shot. So it ends up being lethal. Right. So we win game 1 there on the draw again in very stylish fashion. And wait, hold on, did it play on the draw win every match here? I think so. Okay, so we got the upset there. Let's see if we can win game 2 here. We have a not the greatest hand on the draw, but we do have a medallion and a ritual, and I think we have to keep that. Small chance that this wins turn 3. In this case, I draw another land, which is not great. So I just fetch up a Surveil land and see how this goes. So he plays Waterroot into another Shuko. That's definitely not great. That means he's very low on resources. I bin another land. And yeah, so this is another one of those turns where I can try and go off right now because I drew the second ritual, but that would be like playing a Wrench Resolve with 2 mana floating, and that's it. So I'm really relying on the 2 cards from the Wrench Resolve, and I think there's like too many cards I can draw that would not be great there. Whereas if I play the Medallion now, hope I survive, then I just have so many more resources to go off, so that the Wrench Resolve can hit more things. And plus I have just another draw step that helps a lot too. When I need to try and dig for gas, and it means that like I can hit a wish, and that should probably be good enough. So yeah, I decided to play an Aether Hub here and a Medallion. It's a little interesting in this version if you play the Hub or the Fetch Land. Fetch Land helps with Underworld Breach, and the Hub helps with the Wheel of Potential. In both cases, it's only relevant if I draw a second copy of the same land. But yeah, I'm not sure. I end up playing the Aether Hub though, because I think the Wheel of Potential probably matters more if you find the second Aether Hub. And yeah, he plays the Nadu. He draws a few cards. He can get a Dryad Apple, draw a few more. But he hits just a couple, like, lands that don't do much. A Thassa's Oracle and a Path to Exile. He can't cast either of them. So, yeah, that's really huge for me here. That like that his version plays these cards that are bricks for the combo, and that his mana base is like not super suited for winning here. So this is another case where the Nadu like tries to go off turn 3, bricks, and then immediately dies turn 3. So that was 2 games 1 on a draw here. Yeah, I'm just gonna be smart alert here that I do end up winning this game. Go Wrench Resolve, and I hit a Wish, and that's basically enough. Even though I played the Aether Hub, I should have played the Wooded Foothills, right, to get there. So I just get the Past in Flames and just try and look for a win. But since he's at 13, I don't need to do the whole thing where I like flashback the Past in Flames to Grave Shot twice. I just try and value it a little bit. I find another ritual, and then I can get myself up to like the 14 Storm to have lethal here. So also important to note that you don't need to necessarily like have the kill immediately for Wish to be good. Just like Past in Flames plus rituals is just a combo in itself, and you can maybe stitch something together from there. But yeah, that was the first game history 1 on the draw. And then we see here on the play how it all goes down. So here I'm gonna be on the play, reveal to Gantha, and we see a hand here that is I'm on the play with a turn 2 Ral, so that's perfect. That should equate a game win, very likely. And I think that's what happens. I'm just gonna scroll through this one really quickly. He plays a goose. That does nothing. He can, like, now I even drew a ritual. That's like the thing I was really missing for this hand to work. Even if he Teferis me right now, I'm afraid I like to win next turn. He does not. And I just go off here. So yeah, it probably won't work because of the debug here, but yeah, I just play a bunch of spells and I'm like, I just need to hit one more thing to flip my rel, and then I just get like super far ahead. And we were just talking about like how I can navigate this game around endurance. It's not very hard. Like whenever you have a rel, it's a lot easier to beat endurance because you can just ultimate him and you have such a surplus of resources that it doesn't matter if like one of your past flames or breaches get like countered. So yeah, I just like try and go off here. I think I just play it out as long as the game lets me, but it might break very soon, which it did right there. Yep. Okay. So anyway, I ended up winning that turn, of course, and yep, that was a turn 3 kill on the play. So now we go into the post-board games here. By the way, for this version, I did on the draw very little sideboarding. I bought it out of Past in Flames, and I bought it in a Ghostfire Blade. That's not what it's called. The deal 4 damage to a multicolor creature, or it costs 2 less if they have multicolor creature. Basically, as another removal spell for Nadu. But we were talking about how the Nature's Claims here should just be the Stasis Field. Is it that was called? The one that like Oblivion rings something for 1 mana, and then like, but you have to pay energy every turn to keep it alive. That seems like kind of the perfect fit for this deck. So anyway, I keep this hand. It's like not great, but it can at least kind of play control. So the Aether plus Galvanic Discharge is like does let me kill Nadu. And so I actually like do buy myself a lot of turns here. I could Staggered Ridge turn 1. And then like save my fetch for later. Actually fetch first to like fetch with Veil Land. But I think that's not actually what I want, because I don't know exactly what I want yet. I mean, I assume I want a cost reduction thing, but it's not for sure. I could like end up drawing 2 in the next 2 turns, and then I definitely don't want any, right? So if there's 2 on top, I'd rather just like dig for something else, or like maybe be able to like surveil the second copy away. So I think I make a mistake here by doing that. I think I should just like lead with Staggered Ridge, but it's fine. So anyways, he plays a Delighted Halfling here, so that's fine. He's set up to go get Shuko next turn, so we're gonna try and just kill the Rel. I still can't play the Staggered Ridge here. I mean, I guess I could and just like sacrifice the treasure, but I assume that like that's what's gonna happen, and so I just keep it in hand. And just plan to Galvanic Discharge the Nadu. It's possible I should play it just for bluff value. But yeah, so oh yeah, I mess up here. I forget to pay the energy. I just like misclick and pay 0 energy. I'm supposed to pay all 4 energy, kill the Nadu here. He drew a couple extra cards, but I didn't find a second Nadu, so maybe we have a shot. I hit a second ritual here, so that's not perfect, but we're trying to impulse for a cost reduction thing. And hit a second impulse, so at least we can chain stuff. I play a Staggered Ridge, and yeah, just trying to set up for next turns and see if we can get there. So remember, this Nadu is dead. I had no energy. So he's just playing out his hands, and right now he has a cord up, and we're just discussing if he should like just hope I don't go off, if he should cord for Dryneth Magistrate in my upkeep so that I can't cast his impulse. We decided that like the impulse doesn't do anything with Magistrate in play, so you might as well make me waste 2 mana here. And I think that's fine, but I think you could actually just like if you only have 1 card here, you could just still wait. He does have a second card though, so you can just card for a protection piece, for a disruption piece, and then untap and card for Nadu. So yeah, I play my Regulus. He gets Dryneth Magistrate. I can't play any of these cards, even though I did hit the Ral, which is very annoying because I would have been able to go off here with if I was allowed to cast the Ral. But yeah, that's unfortunately not what happened. Yeah, I even wonder how it would actually have played out. I guess I could flip the Ral. Well, okay, anyways. So yeah, the Dryneth Magistrate very strong here. If he didn't have that in his deck, he would have lost the game. If this was game 1, right? So the post board definitely mattered a lot here. Because I don't have any post board cards, right? I just have the main deck Discharge. So very worth noting. I also had to like spend the Discharge on the Nadu, but like yeah, having a second copy here would also have led me to win the game because of the treasure token. All right, let's see game 3 here. So now we are on the play again. Oh, we're on the play, not yeah, on the play one last time here. And let's see what we get. So we have a somewhat like land heavy Ral hand, but we can surveil for something, and like we do have the setup here. So I'm just gonna keep this hand and try and rely on my Ral to do things. He has another Saga draw, so yeah, we could potentially also Blood Moon him if we draw that. We have like 4 lose the Blood Moon. I do draw a Ritual, so that means this means I have enough resources, but obviously the risk is that like I need to find spells that do something. So I'll play out my Ral here, and let's see what he does. You think he just plays out a second Shuko? Yeah, so it's not too scary. He's got to fetch for Dryad Arbor. I try and go off here, and I guess yeah, exactly. Yeah, the game ends at some point. So what happens here is that that's a very annoying one as well. I think I Reckless Impulse into very little, like just a second Ritual or something, and I don't actually end up doing anything. Like I just draw land for turn, draw land off my Manamorphose, and then I break off my Reckless Impulse. So that is 4 draws, but that doesn't get me enough, and I don't hit enough spells so that I can flip Ral and ultimate him. And the game goes on for a couple more turns here. Like he goes and gets like Haywire Might, and then he can play Nadu and like start doing stuff. And then I think the turn after, I just like have a Gigantha in play, and it just doesn't do anything. And I eventually lose to him. So yeah, that's a sad game that we don't get to see, but it basically highlights a bit of the like there was another case where I could go off turn 3 and I fizzle. So it's the second time that's happened, and I ended up like reversing the advantage I got from winning game 1 on the draw. So there's actually a lot of games being won on the draw here, and it's kind of interesting that I wonder if the like player on the play is just a bit too loose with their keeps. Like if you just have to like still make sure that you absolutely have the turn 3 kill and not keep anything bad here. I don't think I kept a bad hand here though, even though it's a 4-land hand. It had Realm, Metamorphose, and Reckless Impulse, and I guess I couldn't know that my top however many cards was bad. I think I think I surveilled and kept the Ritual on top, actually, is what it looks like. And that was probably a mistake. Because I actually needed action at that point. So maybe I should have gotten rid of the Ritual, but it's a little tough because the Ritual could enable me to play more spells if I do happen to chain. So yeah, after that point, I guess I drew the Ritual for turn 2 lands and then like bricked off 2 more. So it's like I just like open myself up that I would only have 4 draws towards something good. Whereas if I brought on the Ritual, I guess I have 5 draws towards something good. So, anyways, that's my story, and that's how these games go. So yeah, it was a little interesting. The turn 3 definitely matters a lot in this matchup. There's not that much interaction you can do. The Galvanic discharges help a lot with making these things work. If I had hit a Galvanic discharge off this Reckless Impulse, we would have been in a fine spot because I could just play the game longer. But yeah. Anyways, that is my story. I think actually he ends up like pathing my Ral on his turn, which you can always do because I can never flip it. You can like Ral only triggers on your own turn, so you can always kill Ral if it is like from my opponent's side, right? If you're playing against Ral, you can always kill it on your own turn because he can't try and save it. Right, that is the matches here, and thank you for watching.